Well, let's talk now to Giulio Terzi, Italy's former foreign minister, who was also ambassador to Washington and the UN. Thank you so much for being here on the programme. Your immediate response to that report and all of that horrifying detail we were just listening to.
Thank you to you, and thank you to your organization, to BBC, for this extraordinary document, an extraordinary set of evidences which show what is the real condition of the Uighur population in Xinjiang and what is the kind of persecution in every possible way through a strategy which is very much in similarity with those strategies of genocide that we know, unfortunately, in the darkest moments of the European history and other areas in the world. So this is really appalling what we are seeing today in your documentary, and it is even more disconcerting because there has never been up to now enough reaction from the international community.
I'll come
yes.
to what the reaction should be in a moment, but this is what Uyghurs have been saying for years, but they've been ignored. And in Italy, it's worse because you had a senior representative from the Uyghur community come a few years back, and they ended up being detained, didn't they, as they came to actually detail their accounts and their evidence. That was shameful, wasn't it?
Exactly. Dolkunisa, the president of the World Uighur Congress, came in July 2017 to Rome to be heard by the Italian Senate. And just before entering the Senate's door, he was stopped by Italian police and Italian specialized agents because they were giving hints, very likely from the Chinese embassy, in order to prevent him to give his testimony to the Senate and to the Italian parliament. So it is shocking. That was 3.5 years ago. And now the situation here in Rome is even worsened because the Chinese embassy and the Chinese authorities are doing the same all the time.
So now it can't be argued in terms of the detail of what is happening on the ground. China, though, continues to flatly deny any of this. So what should the international community do, given that this policy appears actually to be accelerating?
The international community and some countries are in the front line for this. What is happening in Xinjiang is a genocide, and it must be defined and approached like that. There must be coherent and strong policies to address this issue and to stop it. The first one is the recourse to the Magnitsky Act every time this is possible, and the governments must take this opportunity of using a global Magnitsky legislation wherever they exist, and where it doesn't exist, the governments must adopt it quickly in order to address, first of all, the genocide in Xinjiang. Then there is also national initiatives, and it's very important, the genocide amendment which was brought forward in the UK Parliament. And this is something which must be followed at the European level, on European side, by all the 27 in their legislations.
Really briefly, we heard in that account one of the women say what was happening was that women were being destroyed, the Uyghurs were being destroyed, the shame of it, the trauma, their resilience. The blunt truth at the moment is this policy appears to be succeeding.
It is a policy, and it is a policy and a strategy which is implemented by the strong determination by the Chinese authorities. It's not only rapes, tortures against women, forced labor, which is another very important element to address, since the European Union has just signed a preliminary signature of a comprehensive agreement on investment with China. This has been really a very wrong move, but we have to see that the elimination of the Uyghur and the Muslim identity goes through other violences against women. The first, another terrible violence is sterilization of women in age for having children. This is something which is one of the worst crimes of humanity that one can imagine.
Yes, there are so many shocking allegations in this piece. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for joining us here on the programme. And just a pointer, because you can read the BBC's exclusive report on the Uyghurs with extended eyewitness accounts and analysis. Just go to our website at bbc.com and it is there in the World News China section. A really distressing read. Now let's turn to breaking news of the last few hours, because